at all.
And yet you just did.
I mean, some people like that sort of thing. So, if that's your kink, go for it. It's there for you. I mean, and I mean bad movies, not embrake, although I guess that's also there for you.
We don't yuck people's yums on this show, sir, but we do kind of give them the side eye and move away from them quickly.
I'm going to guide people to the terrible experience that they want. That's what I'm here for.
Let me customize your awful.
Welcome to Season 4 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
A guru, Morris Day, and Julia Roberts in a fat suit walk into a bar will not be seen this week, so we may bring you something a little less fame-obsessed.
I would watch that movie. First off, I would watch Julia Roberts in a fat suit in a whole movie, no problem, right off the bat. That's a gimme. That's a given. I would do that, no problem. Got a couple of interesting movies for the old crew this week. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's a lot about fame obsession and vapid performers this week.
A lot of looking in the mirror and turning your gaze inward.
That's
on these
true.
Two films, yes. But I'm Clif.
And I'm Marty. We're back again at Talking Pondo. We got some more movies for you this week. We're going back to the 80s again. We can't seem to get away from the mid-80s especially. It's Purple Rain time.
Yes. Prince, here it comes.
We did Vision Quest a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And then we were under the false impression that it was the same director. But no, this is the director of American Anthem. The other movie that we said fit in with Young Blood and Vision Quest to make that weird, oily, bohunk 80s trilogies, right? But I feel like this is like adjacent in a way. But the cool thing is we have special guests this week because the guest episodes are always fun. We have Chris and Charlotte from It's Just a Show. I can't believe it. They're here.
Hello.
Score.
Charlotte, they think we're special.
Aw, I'm so glad to be here in a place where I'm special.
Oh, yes. We are big fans. Thanks so much for coming on. To the listeners. Yes, this is the kind of pull we have. This is how big the podcast is getting. This is how the mass, the density and the mass, the podcast, this is the orbit that it's pulling.
I mean, it's a special love of movies that you guys have, and the love of movies that we have over at our show is similar but different, if you will.
Well, we wanted to do something kind of a little bit different, and I thought, hey, Marty and I are always talking about movies that he hasn't seen. He's like, have you seen this? I'm like, nope, I haven't seen that. And I'm like, have you seen this? He goes, no, I haven't seen that. I'm like, all right, well, let's just make a podcast where we force each other to watch these movies. And so it's been pretty good. It's been pretty interesting. Uncovered some really great stuff. Some really great stuff. And then some other stuff has just been unbelievably terrible. And
sometimes terrible in a fun way, I'm sure.
Yes.
Can always get a good half-hour conversation out of it. No matter what the quality of the movie is, we somehow find something to talk about. So that's good. Mm-hmm. We do have a little listener mail.
Yes.
If you want to hear that real quick.
Hell yeah, let's do this. Mm-hmm. Hit me with that listener mail.
So this is in regards to the Blue Thunder Vision Quest episode from a few weeks ago. Izzy T writes in because she likes to write in quite a bit. You might have heard her on the show a few weeks ago. She says, well, now I'm just going to try garlic salt on eggs and then make an egg sandwich with ketchup on it. In regards to Clif screaming about garlic salt being put on eggs in the film Vision Quest, which I did think was kind of weird, but I've never had garlic with eggs.
She's making breakfast. She's making eggs in the morning, and she's like, the first thing she says when he walks in isn't good morning, but you got any garlic salt? It's like, for what? Not for those eggs you're making, I pray. Lord, no.
And then sounds all right.
Yeah, I'm not opposed.
Blue Thunder, so.
And then ketchup on a sandwich. What sandwich? Is it a turkey sandwich? The answer is no. Is it a meatloaf sandwich? We can talk, right?
Is it the egg sandwich? Because then, like, the eggs, if it's scrambled eggs with garlic salt and ketchup, just a little, not too much, that could work. Ketchup and eggs go together.
I don't ketchup and eggs sometimes, man. I don't. It's not my thing. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. It's not my thing. It's fine, but garlic and eggs just does not sound to me like it works. Garlic is garlic. I don't know.
Garlic salt is a very particular texture, and
yes,
I agree. That's not what I would go to first if I wanted garlic and eggs, which I don't usually. But
I've never wanted garlic. I've never been like, you know what, these eggs need garlic. Maybe that's me.
I'm tempted to try it just to know.
Exactly, right? Maybe we're missing out.
I hope some listeners I tried it. It's the most awesome thing ever. You're an idiot. That would be amazing.
Wait, so is Eating Pondo going to be a special episode down the road?
It's right around the corner. We've certainly done enough food-based movies that
you
would think it would have happened during one of them.
I have a whole collection of those in my Plex, food-based movies.
Tampopo and Julia and Julie, and you can, especially the cut that they get rid of all of the Julie stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we got two. They're movies. Today.
Wait a minute!
I can't believe you're downselling these.
I don't want to hype up. I don't want to hype up expectations first. I want to just kind of explore.
You're going to underplay Purple Rain. You're just going to kind of undersell it.
Yeah, and then that way, So let's defer to our guests. What movie should we start with today?
That's a good question.
Well, actually, had both of you seen both of these movies before?
We grew up with Purple Rain, but I don't think I've ever seen America's Sweethearts before about 2 days ago.
I saw Purple Rain in the theater and America's Sweethearts. I've been a fan of that movie for a while. I think it's we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. I also had seen Purple Rain a bunch of times, and it had been on my to rewatch list for a long, long time, and had never heard of America's Sweethearts. But Charlotte certainly had. So
when you guys gave us some movies to choose from, I was like, America's Sweetheart. We have to watch that one. And Chris was like, okay. And then I was like, oh my God, I made Chris watch America's Sweethearts. I'm going to be devastated because he's going to hate it.
Oh man. Why?
Interestingly, I have never seen Purple Rain until a couple days ago. Which is insane. Yes. Okay. Right. I knew all the songs. I'd seen all the music videos. I knew the story of Purple Rain just through cultural osmosis, but I had never seen the movie.
You had never purified yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
I have, because I have that ice cream at Joe's Ice Cream Shack just right 20 feet from the actual Lake Minnetonka, not the fake one that we sent our friend into. But
to be fair, he didn't point at the water and say that Lake Minnetonka. She just assumed.
Let's excuse the horrible actions of a man. That sounds great. Let me be that voice here.
Which are we going to start with? Charlotte, which would you like to start with?
Oh, boy. I'm really interested to have the debate about America's Sweethearts, and I feel like that's a good place to start, because then we can cleanse ourselves afterwards with Purple Rain, which I feel like we'll mostly agree on.
Okay. So, what is as one reviewer put it, polished muddle that is America's Sweethearts?
Polished muddle. Okay. America's Sweethearts, 2001, PG-13, 1 hour, 42 minutes. Your log line. A publicist tries to cover up a feud between two movie stars. This is directed by Joe Roth, written by Billy Crystal and Peter Tolan. Stars Julia Roberts, John Cusack, Billy Crystal. Storyline. Let's see how convoluted this thing's going to. Oh, no, not at all. In the midst of a nasty public breakup of married movie stars, a studio publicist scrambles to put a cap on the escalating situation as the couple's latest film has found its only print kidnapped by the director, played by everybody's favorite Christopher Walken.
I thought it was just because they broke up. I guess the print being stolen comes into play at some point in the movie, right?
I didn't feel like it was stolen at all.
What?
He just hadn't delivered it.
Well, not stolen. I guess. The director's just not letting the studio have it, which I guess the studio we consider that
description
stolen.
Makes me feel like we're on a cross-country road trip to go get the movie back, as opposed to Christopher Walken's coming to us with the final cut. We just haven't seen it yet.
Ooh, yeah, I have to admit, I had read that tagline and then started watching the movie and was like, no, this is not what this movie is about. This movie is about something completely different. We're not having a heist at all. Okay.
Yeah,
what are we going to have instead?
Yeah, not a heist for sure. Kidnapped by the director is definitely a stretch. Withheld by the director, sure, I guess.
Yes, I'll take that clarification.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Releases the opening titles is all.
Yes, but they're not even the right ones. You can
also have them in blue. I mean, you could also have them in blue.
Oh my gosh. I just want to say how much I love Stanley Tucci. Every time I see him in a movie, I'm like, oh, I've just been gifted something amazing. And Stanley Tucci did not disappoint in this movie at all.
No, he's fantastic in this. He's really off the leash. They were just like, okay, Stanley, go. And he was like, cool. I've seen people. I've seen people that like this. Sure, here you go. And went crazy. I love it.
Now, when we asked you all what movies you'd like to watch and you enthusiastically went for America's Sweethearts, it makes me want to kind of defer to Charlotte for a moment to say, what do you love about America's Sweethearts? Because
in other words, why?
Well, not just that. It's not, but I'm going to get in, I just want to hear what she has to say about it first.
I had not heard of America's Sweethearts ever hitting the theaters or anything like that. And I enjoy romantic comedies. And it was one of the movies that, I don't know, one of the streaming services, when it came up, they were like, you might like this movie. And I knew nothing about it. I like Billy Crystal's humor. I love Julia Roberts. I like Catherine Zeta-Jones. I like John Cusack. I got a nice nostalgia print of him in my heart. So it was an amazing cast, and the storyline was silly and goofy. And it's one of those things where it was funny enough that I enjoyed watching it. And every time another star came on, like Stanley Tucci, it was like, oh my gosh, they've gotten amazing people to be in this. And I found the script to be very engaging and funny. It's not a romantic comedy that you would expect from a Julia Roberts. So I didn't come to it thinking ooh, a Julia Roberts, John Cusack romantic comedy. I came to it knowing it was Billy Crystal. And so the humor hit just as you expect a Billy Crystal humor to hit. And on rewatch, sometimes I rewatch it and pay really close attention to what's going on. And sometimes I'll just have it on in the background because it's lovely, silly background for me.
It's light and it's easy.
Yes. And it's not a movie that I think is going to change the world or anything like that. It's a super far-fetched love story that is so problematic after the end of the movie that I can't even conceive of what it's like. But that's fine. I don't need to know what happens after the end of the movie. I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of movies where Julia plays second fiddle, especially this part in this stage of her career. So I was
and they
very
made
surprised
her plain.
That she put her in a fat suit, made her plain, and of course she does the ugly duckling thing, but still it's the swan, the duckling.
Yes,
the swan
she
thing,
does I got made over to be even more beautiful than I'm already perceived to be. She's always done that inside of movies, but she at least started relatively plain in this one. And you have some really interesting sister dynamics. I mean, I don't have this dynamic with my sister, but anytime there's siblings, there's always the you're different people and you always wonder how somebody's going to be reacting to one of you as opposed to the other. And there's always usual jealousies in the sister relationship. So I also enjoyed the development of that sister relationship, even though it was super selfish and toxic at the same time. There's so many things that I am charmed by in this movie. And in retrospect, after being really enthusiastic about it with Chris, I was like, he's not going to be charmed by any of the things I'm charmed by.
Chris?
This is largely true.
I think we're going to have two even sides here. Is what's the side?
So, all right. John Cusack's character is married to Catherine Zeta-Jones' character, but
Correct.
They're not doing very well together.
Correct.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is hooked up with Hank Azaria, who's apparently not yet aware of the Apu controversy, is going to do another voice in another accent, which is whatever. We don't need to get into that too much, I suppose.
It's the same accent he does for the Birdcage. It's the exact same accent. In fact, other than the character being gay in the Birdcage, it's the same character.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
I'm not
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then John Cusack's going to fall for, or sort of finally admit his love for Julia Roberts. Now, do you, Charlotte, or anyone, do you think that there is much chemistry, as they say? It's a rom-com. I'm expecting chemistry. I mean, I'm not really, but because I'm not a rom-com person, but I'm led to believe that the chemistry between the leads is one of the big things that you might go to these kinds of movies for. Did you find that there was much chemistry between those two?
No, because I think, like Charlotte said, it's not that kind of rom-com.
Yeah.
Like if you like Soap Dish, if you've seen Soap Dish.
I have, a long time ago. I remember really liking it, but it's been decades.
There's a little bit of a romantic element in it, right? It's kind of a rom-com, but it's told in such a roundabout way that it doesn't really hit the rom-com notes. And I feel like this one, America's Sweethearts, is trying to do more of a farce and a comedy than it is a rom-com. They're really leaning into the comedy, like the dogs, all over Billy Crystal's crotch for at least 5 minutes of this movie. I mean, they're really going for the comedy,
absolutely,
right? Like,
wild.
That guy must be carrying Alpo in his pants. It's insane. Like, I don't know.
Just sitting on a cushion of Alpo.
Yes,
it's awesome.
To the left.
I mean, it's LA. You can get specially trained dogs who can do that kind of work.
Ball work. They're great.
Is that what they mean by ball driven with a dog? Is that?
Yep. That is 100% what they mean by that.
100%.
Oof. Anyway, Chris, continue, please.
Well, no, Charlotte, what do you
comment? I didn't need there to be chemistry between John Cusack and Julia Roberts because it didn't really feel to me like they were a viable couple. Even at the end of the movie, what I felt was unrequited, long time, like second fiddle love from Julia Roberts's character for John Cusack.
Maybe
and then
she got out of her system or something.
Yes. Well, and then the possibility of the notice beginning to go both ways. Am I betting on this relationship to last a very long time? I am not. I don't think they have much chemistry. I mean, him packing her clothes at the end of the movie while she's carefully folding everything, and he's just shoving everything in, like, let somebody do something for you for once. It's like, you're not doing anything for her. Step away from her suitcase. Things like that. It's just like, this is not going to last. But it's a point in time where you have a second fiddle sister who's always had to do the work for the other sister finally being noticed in her own. And that's what I appreciate about this movie. Like, it's not a rom-com. I'm not there for the John Cusack getting together with Julia Roberts at the end.
Yeah. I will say, I think Julia Roberts is by far the best thing about the movie. Like, I think I like her character growth. I like her acting. I don't like a lot of the other people.
I think Cusack really struggles with the comedy at times. I think he struggles with being a leading, which is weird because, I mean, the guy's been in some pretty decent romantic comedies. He's in one of the greatest. He's in Say Anything, which is considered to be, one of the great teen romance type things of all time. But yet in this one, I feel like he sort of struggles. And part of it, I think, also is there's a few, of course it's a farce and it's really trying to take Hollywood apart, right? But there's even a few things that get a little bit kind of beyond, like I fell into a cactus and I'm pulling the thorns out and it makes me look like I'm jacking off. And you're just like, it's a little far of a reach, right? And I feel like Cusack during that scene is just kind of like, all right, Billy, whatever you want, man. All right. I know you wrote this movie and I signed up for it. So here you go. I'm going to do the prickers thing. Sure. And I think he struggles with it. There are other times where I think he does really well. I love the fight with Hank Azaria in the, Pussy Boy is going to leave. I thought that was hysterical, and a lot of fun. And and also Catherine Zeta-Jones just being the type of person who would just sit there and act like it's, and then have a sip of wine and just be like, oh my God, they're fighting over me. It's just, that's what I really enjoy about this movie. Like, and I also feel like I'll say Catherine Zeta-Jones really leans into her character. She leans into that shit.
Yeah, she commits to that. I did appreciate how much she committed to being that awful.
Yes.
Which I also appreciate about the second movie, but we'll get to that later.
Right? There's a lot in common. John Cusack was a last-minute replacement. This was going to be Robert Downey Jr., but Robert Downey Jr. had drug problems.
Oh.
I cannot imagine.
Right.
I would have loved to have seen RDJ do that.
I thought you were going to say, I can't imagine Robert Downey Jr. having drug problems. I was
he has a well-documented history of that, correct?
Yeah. No, I can't imagine him in this role in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why
movie.
It would have been a very different movie. And I mean, maybe he would have had more chemistry with Julia Roberts and he would have sold the relationship more. And my investment in the movie is more in the sister relationship than it is in the romantic ones. And that's fine. But yeah, I can't. It seems like everybody, many of the people who are in this movie are playing extreme versions of the kind of characters that they're typecast in. And I don't think of Robert Downey Jr. as being typecast as a romantic comedy goofy lead. I think of him more in his Iron Man or Sherlock Holmes, like the hyper intelligent. Again, maybe this is just a timing thing in terms of when I watched it. I already had him as Iron Man in my mind and not as Charlie Chaplin or as the pickup artist or any of those.
The pickup artist is what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's a good call. It's a good pick.
Yeah, to me, it kind of felt like similar to Mixed Nuts, even though that was a strike movie. This felt more like we got the money to make this. We got the time to make it. Let's put Julia Roberts in it so we know we're going to make $100 million. Let's go hang out at this resort in Nevada for a month. And, we got a movie? I guess we got a movie when we were done. But I feel like it was more like, we have a chance to work together and do something real quick. And this is when you could still put a movie like this in theaters and make $100 million. Now, it wouldn't even make something like this, or it would go to a streamer. Yeah.
Did this really make that much money?
It did. Julia was hot back then. Yeah.
$46 million budget. It did 93 in the US and 138 worldwide. So it was a hit.
How did I never hear about this hitting theaters? Like, I really legitimately never heard about this in a theater. I only ever saw it on streaming, like in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It was overrode by a lot of shit that was coming out in 2001, which was really good. Like, I mean, 2001 is a pretty good year for movies. So, this snuck into theaters, hit its window, made its money, and got the fuck out of the way of everything else that was coming. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just get in there and make our money and get out of here, right? So I congratulate it. Yeah. Personally, for me, like you said with the sister thing, I enjoy mostly watching Billy Crystal kind of have to run through these machinations of setting all this stuff up and getting this whole, junket going and having to deal with Hector and having to deal with Stanley Tucci's character and
Seth Green's character
and having to liking John Cusack and liking her, he doesn't like Catherine Zeta-Jones's character, but he definitely likes Julia Roberts. He likes he likes John Cusack. And so navigating this thing, but while he's also obviously just manipulating the shit out of the three of them.
Oh yeah.
For the benefit of this, and advertisement of this movie. Right. And he's got that great line where he says, say you're here on the junket and you get a call and your mother dies. Right. And so what do? You go down to the bar, you have yourself a drink and you say, it's a shame. My mother would have loved this movie. And at that point you realize that he's fucking insane.
Yeah. Like, as insane as Stanley Tucci. Hit him. Ooh,
yeah.
Anyone.
And he's giving himself all the best lines too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why don't I just? Yeah. Well, he was supposed to play. He wrote this, and he was supposed to play John Cusack's character.
Ooh,
but
Billy
they convinced.
Crystal?
Yeah,
they convinced him he was too old.
Yeah, they convinced him he was too old.
He had an older script. It felt like
he'd had this on the shelf for a few years, right?
Fair. Yeah, no, this would have been really difficult to see him in that role after When Harry Met Sally, right? Like, this is not a romantic comedy style that hits Billy Crystal's strengths in the romantic comedy lead.
Would it have had that sort of, think of that though. Say he's coming off that string of Nora Ephron hits and he does this and they kind of painted in that Nora Ephron frame and motif and sort of style. It'd be a totally different, but still with that comedy and that sort of, be a totally different movie.
Yeah, but then what do you have, like John Cusack, Billy Crystal? Like, I'm not in for that.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Did they have somebody to play the Billy Crystal part in that in the olden days before he ended up with it?
I don't know who
best friend
was.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
No, I mean I love Robin Williams, but not in that role.
Sure. Yeah, no.
as it's written and as we saw it in the movie, it's a very Billy Crystal, and I cannot in my mind replace him with anybody else because of the shtick.
Yeah. I don't know. I spent a lot of the movie.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been I spent a lot of the movie thinking about why I'm not into Billy Crystal very much, especially sort of in this period, maybe. Not that I'm an expert, not that I've seen a lot. And this is, of course, by far not the worst Billy Crystal movie I've ever seen, because I've seen Rabbit Test. Ooh.
Father's Day.
Sorry?
Oh, Father's Day, My Giant.
I was going to say, Forget Paris.
Forget Paris.
No. Go see Rabbit Test if you really. It's the movie that Joan Rivers directed. Billy Crystal gets pregnant in it. It's from 1978. It is wildly racist and wildly terrible, and I don't recommend it at all.
And yet you just did.
I mean, some people like that sort of thing. So, if that's your kink, go for it. It's there for you. I mean, and I mean bad movies, not MPreg, although I guess that's also there for you.
We don't yuck people's yums on this show, sir, but we do kind of give them the side eye and move away from them quickly.
I'm going to guide people to the terrible experience that they want. That's what I'm here for.
Let me customize your awful.
But yeah, I don't know. I kept... So the fact that he had written it many years earlier is interesting, and the fact that he was planning to do the other part is interesting. I thought it was a really, there's something about the role of that press agent that he's playing where he's both very likable and very awful at the same time, which he does do a pretty good job of. But there's something that there's something oily and shiny and professional and like he's ready to host the Oscars about him that I don't like. And yeah, I don't know.
But I appreciate that somehow when he is this likable person who is also awful, everyone sees him for who he is, because you have John Cusack later on in the movie being like, I like you a lot, but you'd sell my soul to make this movie make money. So everybody sees him for what he is, which is entirely different from Catherine Zeta-Jones's character, who everybody thinks they love because of the portrayals that she puts forth publicly. And so she has this horrible exterior that nobody sees. And so when they see the breakup, it's hard for them to know where to assign blame.
She's so wonderfully terrible in this movie.
She does a really great job of having those two completely separate personas and trying to manage which one is public and which one is private. Well, in private, also trying to be nice. Like her whole conversations with her sister, where her sister's like, I'm sorry, are you just thinking of yourself? And she's like, well, yeah, doesn't everybody like me?
Oh man, yes. The one where she's laying in bed and she's begging Julia Roberts to go talk to John Cusack and go, please, Kiki, and then she gets up fine, and her last thought is, your pillow's better than mine, and she takes the pillow and goes back to her room to go to sleep. It's like, that pillow's not better than yours. Nope. You just don't want her to have that pillow. Exactly. That's the kind of shitty ass person you are.
Green dress.
Just like the green dress.
Chris, I think that your feeling of Billy Crystal having this persona where he's incredibly likable but also really awful, is that just why you don't like Billy Crystal in everything? Like, is that your problem with Billy Crystal in general, or was it just for this?
I've never met a Billy Crystal haters. This is fascinating.
I don't really feel like, I don't know if I'm a Crystal hater.
Are you?
He's great in Soap. I love him in Soap.
Okay.
He is good in Soap.
Okay.
And I'm not in any way, I haven't seen enough. I haven't reviewed all the footage. I've just seen a few films and know about him through pop culture. So I don't have the highest, I haven't, he doesn't appeal to me. He doesn't make me want to see a movie. But
that's fair.
Hey, I will say, even though I didn't love this movie and it didn't make me laugh very much, I do think it was very efficiently written. And you've brought up some of the examples, like the pillow bit or the dress bit. Like, these are very quick lines that strongly establish character in a striking way. And the movie's very good about, it has been honed. Cats have been saved. This is a movie that knows what it's doing. It's going to get from point A to point Z.
Saved. Well played. That's well played, sir. No, I completely agree with it. It's sharp. It's compact. It's well written. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Again, I think it's a situational comedy. So some of the situations are a little too over the top, which moves the film a little into camp and kind of robs the film at times of what it's trying to do. But overall, I think it's pretty successful at being just this goofy. I love the thing where they stop in the desert and Billy's running back and forth from the limos going, you're going to go second. He's like, I don't care. Okay, but you're and then he's screaming, I don't care. And he rolls the window up. Billy just stands there and goes, you're going second. And he rolls the window down. He's like, I don't care. And he just rolls the window back up. And then of course the driver's like, I don't know why we have to go second. He's like, just drive the fucking limo. And I'm like, yeah, I love that stuff. Really enjoyed it.
So I loved the limo driver who was like really excited about the celebrity and couldn't stop talking to him. Yeah. That felt very real.
Yes.
The only thing he didn't do was try to pass a screenplay off to him.
Yeah, I think he was building up to it.
Yeah.
We already had that inside of Larry King show. I think she'd love the script. We don't take scripts. Also, get the lilies out of the bouquet.
Yeah. Could you please stop smoking? Please.
Yes.
So it's more of a Hollywood satire than a rom-com is what we're discovering, right?
I'd say so.
Yeah. I think that's the big motivating thing about it. Like the structure is this sitcom, rom-com, and I guess sister is the main relationship focus. I'm willing to buy that as the most interesting of the relationships that it's exploring. But I think primarily it opens up with the guy who announces does the voiceovers for trailers and movies, giving us the recap of these two actors' careers, and then parodies of or not parodies necessarily, but like little clips of all the terrible movies they've been in, which was great. I enjoyed that stuff.
I like that.
So good.
I did too. It was like, it's the moment in all the movies where they finally get together and you just get to see a whole stream of them. It's like the kissing scene in Cinema Paradiso where it's just like smooch, 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 smooch. It's all the best parts. I love it. I also love that at the end he's like, oh, did you do that? And he's like, nah, the guy's done it. No, take credit. And then it's like, no, don't take credit until somebody says they like it. That's good advice.
That's good advice.
It's good advice if you want to be a sociopath. But yeah, it is good advice. Or succeed in business. Same difference.
Oh, man. Okay, you're right. Not necessarily good advice for being a human. But these aren't humans. None of them.
No, they're caricatures, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single one.
It's like, it feels like this movie must have been some kind of large influence on the show Entourage, because it feels like they took a lot of this and did the storylines again. But now watching this, and I know a lot of people hate Entourage, and I'm like, oh, is this what that's like to them who don't like it? I'm sorry. I didn't know. I just watch because I like to watch. Are they going to make the movie or not? But some people go, it's too bro-y, and I'm like, I can understand that, but that's never what I focus on.
And you just couldn't get into America's Sweethearts because the movie had already been made. We were just waiting for Christopher Walken to bring it.
But I still kind of enjoyed those aspects of it. Are they going to make it? Are they not? And then you realize, everybody's terrible. So they're all just vapid, showbiz people.
Oh,
and so
Hector getting up and defending the size of his penis is one of my favorite parts of the fucking movie. It's just 100%. It's so great where he's just like, it's bigger than quarters. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I think the movie is just it's too dumb to be offensive. Like, I don't think they were trying to make people mad with caricatures and stuff. They were just doing almost screwball comedy from the 40s or something.
Sure.
And it's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's a caricature. It's not meant to skewer Latin Americans. It's meant to be a caricature of that type of person.
The weird thing is, if Robert Downey Jr. had been in it, strangely enough, he ends up in a Hollywood satire a few years later, Tropic Thunder, which is incredibly sharp.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I know America's Sweethearts was not trying to be that sharp of a satire, but it felt like they had some of the elements, but they didn't go that direction with it.
Yeah, no, I think they're skewering Hollywood and it with a situational comedy.
Hector had been more of a self-aware joke.
Tropic Thunder is a much deeper dive into making films.
If we had found out Hector was just some guy doing an accent, then it would have been a little more of that self-aware thing, Instead he's just a character.
I think it's 2001. You're asking a little much of the movie at that point.
Did you watch the deleted scenes?
No,
I did not.
Did, but
unless they were worked into the movie in the version that I saw.
The weirdest thing about the deleted scenes is they're very short, but there's some of the funnier material, and they're not in the movie. What? It seemed like they had too much side characters. So there's this whole subplot about the character Leaf, who was hooking up with Hector and was also hooking up with John Cusack, and they decided to kind of excise a lot of that.
Yeah,
there was a little bit more between Christopher Walken and Seth Green. Like they had a little side plot that was kind of like, I would have almost liked to seen a little more of it because goofy, but I understand why for pacing, you can only have so much in one movie. And there's a little bit more of Alan Arkin as his guru character.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Driving down the street recklessly at one point.
In his convertible?
Rage. Yeah. So he has road rage, the guy who's supposed to be all chill, you know.
Yeah.
Who shows he's full of shit too. So it's just like, hey, well okay. But I like that they were on the DVD at least, but not essential.
Well, they give us enough to have the guru guy being full of shit, because they have him as soon as John Cusack is driving off, just rolling his eyes audibly.
Right. Yeah. He's like, get out of here. You're only supposed to be here 2 weeks. You're here a year and a half. I'm not teaching you anything anyway.
And his ridiculous saying that he's like, I don't know what it means. It's very old.
You can see him smirk like he's about to start laughing.
Yeah, Alan Arkin is right on the edge of it, dude. Yeah. Like, especially when he's hiding behind that leaf at one point when he's looking at Billy Crystal, and he says whatever, life is a cookie. And Billy Crystal's like, the fuck did you just say to me? And, he's got that leaf in front of his face.
Good time making it seemed like.
Half a star just for Alan Arkin being in the movie right away. Just straight up half star. I love me some Alan Arkin.
Blink and you'll miss Rainn Wilson. Well, I guess he's in it a little bit more.
Second time I've seen him play a movie reviewer.
Yeah, I definitely he popped out a lot to me. He was the most interesting of the movie reviewer little bippies here. Sure. Some of those guys were real movie people, like movie reviewing people.
So one of them was neat. Jim Ferguson, who worked at the Tucson Citizen here in Tucson.
Very cool.
Hey.
I'm like, it was the guy. So, like they chose the real person.
Byron Allen. I mean, Byron Allen's got a whole friggin' empire.
Byron, yeah.
I mean, that dude's got an entire friggin' empire.
Which is why he got the most play in the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
As one of the critics.
Right, he was like the main one to start off the press.
He started off, he got to give his whole spiel at the beginning, yeah.
Although I did like the guys who were like, the popcorn is popping.
Those two idiots.
We have 5 minutes with these stars, but the first minute and a half are just going to be us mugging each other.
That's right.
So the director of this movie was Joe Roth, and he's only directed a handful of movies. He's mostly a producer. He's kind of like the Kevin Bacon of producers. He's worked with everybody. It's crazy when you look at his list. Yeah, but his director credits are, it's sketchy to say the least. So
what other movies has he directed?
He did a movie that I enjoy, even though I know it's stupid, called Revenge of the Nerds Part 2, because it's not as bad as the first one. They go to Fort Lauderdale. But then he also made what I feel is the worst Christmas movie of all time and one of the worst films of all time, The Completely Laughless Christmas with the Cranks. Ooh. But this one felt like somewhere in the middle for me. It was like he hadn't completely gone off the Christmas with the Cranks edge yet. I mean,
Marty, you really just put two movies together and said, this is a really good one that I really like, and this is the worst movie ever made, and it's somewhere in the middle. You made that line.
I know.
It
doesn't make any sense, does it?
It's like a Venn diagram where...
No, I entirely agree with all three of those assessments, actually.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen Revenge of the Nerds too, but it's been most of my life.
Yeah.
It's no America's Sweethearts.
It certainly isn't.
No, that's true.
What is? I felt like both of these movies today were like romance novels in a way, just put on the screen,
Here's another thing I'll say in this film's favor that I think I've seen this film has come on cable or on something when I have been at a family function, and it plays very well amongst a family because it's not super gross, it's not super offensive. The prickers thing is the closest thing it is, and it's so kind of ridiculous that even grandma can kind of laugh at it without it being too sordid, right?
Sure.
And of course, it's got Julia Roberts in it. Oh, she's so beautiful. And it's got Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh, she's so beautiful. And Billy Crystal running around telling jokes. It plays really well in that milieu. And that's.
Yeah. I'm sadly not part of the demo of your family. So it didn't play as well for me, but that's okay. They don't all have to be for me.
No, they don't have to be for you,
You might have enjoyed it more if we were all watching it in the same room.
Right. Maybe if we riffed it at the time that we were watching it, we could have made fun of it that way.
I might have done that.
I mean, they're all too famous to really riff about, right? If you're going to riff about this, you got to riff about some of the side background people.
Oh, we can make jokes
about that. I had plenty of sharp comments to say about Hank Azaria's role.
Oh, yes. Yes. And they're deserved.
Like and subscribe.
Well, should we transition into our other romance novel movie?
We'll need your score first.
Oh, of course.
Yes. So, Marty, what do you think? What do you give it?
I give it 1/2.
Wow. Come on. What?
Spicy.
Okay.
Terrible. But I will say it's dumb, and there's nothing wrong with a dumb movie every now and then. You'll chuckle out a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to say it's like great or anything, but I don't hate it. Giving it 1/2 doesn't mean I hate it in this instance. It just means it's kind of dumb. But it's so dumb that I laughed a few times. So it's fine. It's just
what did you give? What did you give Step Brothers?
I think I gave Step Brothers a higher score than this, which is kind of hard to believe, but I felt like that was put together
That's
a little
insane.
better. I think I gave that a 1.
Did you
but I
really
don't
give
like
Step
Will
Brothers a
Ferrell,
higher score?
so that's a whole other thing.
Wow.
But like we say, this movie doesn't need me. It made over $100 million. The dictionary definition of a programmer. It did what it was supposed to do.
Oh, no, you gave Step Brothers a 1.
A 1.
So you gave this a higher score than Step Brothers.
No, I gave this a 1/2.
No, he gave this a 1/2.
Oh, I thought you gave this 1.5.
No, a 1/2.
You gave this a 1/2 star?
Oh, out of the near 200 movies we've watched, this is towards the bottom, yet I still kind of enjoyed it in a way.
You've got to be kidding me. You brought Running Time on the show. And you think this is worse than Running Time?
Well, most critics agree both movies are pretty bad. Running Time and America's Sweetheart. So I guess
you're not answering the question.
I'm worried that you're not leaving yourself enough bottom if you're giving a 1/2 star to a movie you don't hate. Like, that's what 1/2 star means in my scoring system.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to move him towards, is like,
It's like I gave Mixed Nuts a 1/2 star, but as a Christmas movie, I give it 5 stars. There's an objectiveness to it,
I need to read your rubric someday.
my rubric is I rarely give films anything less than a 2 if they're like if it's edited well, you can hear it, it's in focus and that type of thing.
I get everything even if I did that.
Halfway decent, but these things start to fall off as they get worse, right? Like if you can really see the film being directed or see it being done, then it goes worse. His tends to be more objective and relative as far as his scoring goes. I had to come up with some sort of scale because I found myself wildly all over the place when the first season that we were doing this. So, all right. Well,
what would you give it?
Okay, so I'm going to give it with the extra 1/2 star for Alan Arkin. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I think it's honestly a solid 2.5 star movie. I think it's funny. I think it's kind of silly. I think for people who are really like cinemaphiles or take movies seriously, they're really gonna fucking have a trouble with this movie because it's not a serious movie. It's not a serious attempt. It's just there to be watched and kind of enjoy and spend 90 minutes with, right? And in that respect, I think it accomplishes it. 2.5 stars, but with Alan Arkin, 3.
I've just been looking on Letterboxd to see what movies I've given 1/2 star to. Not many, but Dancer in the Dark, Star Wars Episode 1, a really terrible movie from 1970 called The Naked Zoo, which I couldn't even get through, and I tried. I watched it for the podcast. It's bad.
I watched a film by Hal Ashby called The Landlord with Beau Bridges, and that is a 1/2 star movie. That was fucking
sounds
awful.
like it.
Yeah. It was god awful.
Maybe I'll think differently in the season review. We always...
No. As long as you're clear about what your stars mean, it's fine.
This week is sat on my head. Yeah.
I gave it 2 stars.
2 stars. Okay.
2 stars.
I don't like it, but I'm not angry that I saw it.
It's less than 2.5, which means that everything below 2.5 is you don't like, right?
2.5 is this is a movie, or I have very complicated feelings about this. 3 and above is I like it. 4 is I love it.
That's kind
5
of
is rare.
Yeah. 5 is very rare for me. Very rare. 4.5, 4 is very rare for me.
Fair enough. I'd 3 it
even
without Alan Arkin in it. I would still have gone 3. It's a movie that I enjoy watching. It's not the first movie I would choose to watch, but I'm not unhappy when I see it as an option. And I think, ooh, maybe I'll watch that right now. 3.
That's how I feel about it. I enjoyed it. I remember one of the things that I always remember is that it was one of those films that escaped me in the theaters, much like all of us. It like came and went, I had no idea. And then I think I stumbled across it in cable in the mid 2000s late at night and was watching it. It was like Billy Crystal and Julia Roberts and John Cusack. What? And I watched it and was like, that was the best movie ever, but it wasn't terrible. I kind of like that.
Sure. I wonder if I would have felt different if I paid $20 to see it in a theater. I don't know.
Popcorn and all that. Yeah. Sat
I
down.
really don't.
Yeah. Gotten all dressed up, went out on a date, got popcorn, sat down.
Got dressed up, like put on jeans.
Popcorn popping.
Well,
Oh,
butter's warm. Okay.
Certainly didn't hurt anybody's career. They went right on to their next movie and continued to make money. So.
It was a hit.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
By all stretches of the imagination, it made 3 times its money. It was a hit. That's a hit.
Put Julia Roberts in anything back then,
Yeah.
Good movie, bad
I think
movie.
you probably still put Julia Roberts in anything. I mean, we haven't seen her for a while, and I think that's mainly because she just has had kids and has a family. Like,
yeah,
Fair
enough. She deserves to have a life too.
Does she?
I just want to scream at these people. Get a life.
Which brings us to
the ultimate full-length music video. What is Purple Rain?
Purple Rain, 1984, rated R, 1 hour and 51 minutes. Here's your log line. A young musician tormented by an abusive situation at home must contend with a rival singer, a burgeoning romance, and his own dissatisfied band as his star begins to rise. This is directed by Albert Magnoli, written by Albert Magnoli and William Blinn, stars Prince, Apollonia, and Morris Day. Your storyline. A young man with a talent for music has begun a career with much promise. He meets an aspiring singer, Apollonia, and finds that talent alone isn't all that he needs. A complicated tale of his repeating his father's self-destructive behavior, losing Apollonia to another singer, Morris Day, and his coming to grips with his own connection to other people ensues. Thank you, John Vogel. So there you go. I guess that's what happens.
As far as describing a plot for that's
close enough.
The beats.
The only thing I take issue with is the idea that his star is rising. It feels like it's pretty plateaued the entire movie. Like he's already headlining at this awesome club.
Yeah.
And he's either top or number 2, depending on how we feel about Morris Day, which I can't really read from the movie. And I know in my heart, Prince will be number 1.
Personally, yes.
Yeah.
But we still love Morris.
But the movie seems to be communicating that Morris Day is more loved at this club, and that's fine. It can communicate wrong things. And then, Prince just seems to be flat the whole time. It doesn't feel like there's a momentum for him to be moving on to putting out an album or having more audience love, other than he dips and comes back up, but he ends where he began in my mind.
It feels like psychologically he's at the top but yet falling through the movie. Like and we're watching him, like you see him do Let's Go Crazy at the very beginning, right? Big upbeat song, big number, crowds going, but then slowly he begins to move into Computer Blues, some of these other songs, and the crowd's not really into it. The guy who owns the club isn't into it. Morris is using that as a wedge to get this girl group in, and like the owner tells him, I only need 3 groups, so one of you is out. Right. And so to me, it seems like it's this psychological decline that's coming out in his music. Right. And so it's that dip to go back up.
The only band that seems to be out is the guy with the Karate Kid bandana on. What do we see him for? A third of one song, and that's all we ever see. It seems
really
like
explain
that's the
what
band
he's doing there. Yeah, well, it almost seems like he's trying out for a spot, right? But we don't explain.
Maybe.
We don't explain what he's doing. Maybe he gets like a one night to see what he can do, and it would have been cool to explain that. But you're right; it doesn't. He's just there doing that.
I just didn't know who the third band was. I assumed it was them.
They do mention it in their song. They're called the Modern Heirs. Their song "Modern Heir" is what they're singing about how much they want to be modern heirs.
Yes, I want to be a modern heir. Okay.
Yes. So this is one of the things that I find really interesting about the film is that Prince is well. First, all right. So Prince presents his music as a lot of it as not popular. Like he goes out and he does Computer Blue and he does Darling Nikki, and the crowd is like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
and the owner's like,
songs ever made, one after the other every night, but we don't like your music.
Yeah, like it is so strange. But then, you know, and Morris Day is clearly meant to be like the big one. The Time is the big band that everybody's really loving and that he's, you know, on the prowl. And yet Morris Day's actual songs are kind of I mean,
also written by Prince.
Well, they're all by Prince. All the music is by Prince. All three bands, all four bands in the movie is Prince's music that like only has different vocals.
That's the genius of it, in my opinion, is that he has these three distinct sounds for these bands that you know, Morris Day and the Time do not sound at all like Prince and the Revolution. You're right. You're Charlotte's holding up four fingers and
because he has Apollonia 6 as well.
Because he's got Apollonia and these others. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Chris, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I don't know, just the way that he's presenting these great songs that he's putting out on an album that is going to be huge, but like it's part of the album. Like he split them, like 3 albums came out from this, right? The Apollonia 6 album, the Time put out an album, and Prince put out an album. And Prince's album is the one with his name on it. So like that is the one that he loves. And he puts songs on it. But in the movie, they are bombs because he's too much in his head and the crowd doesn't love it. And that's like his big plot arc is that he's got to figure out how to connect with the people again.
Yeah.
It's wild. So much of this movie is wild to me how Prince chose for his star-making story to present himself as an awful person and not a great musician.
Oh my gosh. A horrible person.
Oh
my gosh.
And let's be clear. Real life Prince was kind of a horrible person in many ways, while a brilliant musician.
And I do think it's funny that when he finally decides to do Wendy and Lisa's song, somebody else's music, which we know he wrote anyway, that's the one they all react to. So what is the moral of the story? Don't do your own art. Do somebody else's because you're suck.
Be collaborative.
I know, I'm being silly. It's just kind of funny when
listen to others. But you're right.
Because he listens to his father's music too and works that into, you know, he begins to work that into his. And it's this idea of bring in the people that you are around you and that you care for, and also listen to the people that brought you up and brought you where you are.
Yeah, there's a mild suggestion because his father at one point during one of the arguments says to Prince's character's mother, "I would die for you." Yes. And then it's only after he's going through the music that he performs "I would die for you." So there's a sense that this is something he is lifting from his father, or you know, using from that, or just homage. Like he used Wendy and Lisa's music to make Purple Rain. So interesting. That's not explicit in the text, but
it's surprisingly got a few nuances and layers for what is kind of supposed to be, like Marty said, a long music video. They at least tried to build some layering in and some thematic elements, you know.
Sure, yeah.
I do feel like the trope of the abusive father and the henpecked mother is such an just so fucking
it's like an exploitation movie. Then I'm redeemed at the end.
It's just overdone. Yeah,
you still have to look at it like in 1984. If anybody watched this movie,
1984 it was done.
Well, if anybody watched this movie in 1984 and walked away from it going abuse is bad, then it did its job. You know, I guess because you aren't really seeing that a lot in that time period. Even though it does kind of do it like an exploitation movie of bad, redeemed at the end. See, we could do all this bad stuff in the movie, so we can redeem it at the end. Now I've brought that up over and over again. But I don't think that's really what they meant to do.
Prince is redeemed, and that's all.
Yeah, but the dad is all that matters. Redeemed.
No, I think Prince is not redeemed at the end. I think just like in our previous movie, it's clear that Apollonia and Prince are not, well, the kid, are not going to last together.
Yeah.
Sure. And I agree with you that I don't think that Prince is redeemed as a person, but musically he has been redeemed to the crowd, to the people who are backstage, because there was all of the drama backstage. And I'm going to put drama in quotes here because the acting is a little, but like there's drama backstage in terms of who you support and who's a good act. And they don't view the kids' band as being a good act. Like they're solidly entertaining, sometimes, but there's a lot of infighting and it could break up at any moment. Like there's that feeling. And then after they do Purple Rain, he has a huge emotional epiphany and is able to come back and be a better musician. Is he going to be a better person? Yet to be seen. It happens after the movie's over. And unlike America's Sweetheart, I have faith that it might go somewhere. I'm not convinced it will for sure, but I have faith that there might be some forward momentum that he can work with.
He's realized something at least.
I think it shows. I think he shows growth in the movie to a certain extent. He does, like his father. He beats on his girlfriend, right? Emulating his father. And then there comes a point where he goes to do it again. And she goes, go ahead, and just looks at him and he stops, right? And he goes, and he realizes like, oh, I don't want to be this person. And then he has this musical epiphany, this musical and emotional epiphany, which makes me feel like, it's quite possible that they actually may, I'm not saying that it's all probably going to stop there, but they actually may work through it and last. It's possible.
Cliff, I'm not sure if the emotional epiphany is because of anything that happens with his girlfriend
or I'm not saying it is
because of his father's attempted suicide.
Sure.
Because those things happen in succession. And I'm not sure that anything that happens with Apollonia is going to move his character forward.
Well,
not yet.
I think an emotional epiphany with his father and the relationship that he has vis-a-vis how he's emulating him, if it's an emotional epiphany, is going to affect his relationship with Apollonia for sure, right?
Potentially.
Realizing that you don't want to be that person, that you want to be somebody better.
Sure.
That's going to hopefully affect your relationship.
He's starting the work.
Yeah.
Starting the work.
Generational trauma.
Yes. And that work is never going to be done.
This movie way more than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the basic plot is, okay, you're an up-and-coming musician, but it's not going out, and this is the night. If you don't perform well tonight, you're out of the club. You're out of it. Your career's over.
You're out of the family.
This happened to your father, and it's going to happen to you. Yeah. And so he's got to have this epiphany moment to break through it. That is Tale as Old as Time, which doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad, but it is kind of obvious. But all the choices along the way are so weird. Mm-hmm. And especially for somebody, this is his A Hard Day's Night. This is his, I'm making a big statement. Music video, sure, but it's not his Stop Making Sense. Although there's a little bit of that, but it's his way of telling a legend about himself. Sure. And the legend he tells is so awful. I don't know. I find that great. Like I find that incredibly interesting and compelling. Mm-hmm. And yes, everyone in this movie is a bad actor, basically. Apollonia is the worst of them, but
they're not
it's
actors.
Rough. It's rough.
No, it's not.
That's why I say it's like a music video. It's like the little story in between the songs, kind of. And I don't expect that to have a good acting. So when I looked at it that way, I'm like, oh, this is just think of it that way. Don't think it's like Oscar material.
I'm fine with a little bit of bad acting.
I have no problem with the rest of it. Prince, of course, famously has all the charisma in the world.
Yes.
And he is able to use that while he's being the worst person.
Out there, I tell you.
Yeah, he's just being and not the worst person. He's being a sort of not blandly, he's being a very bad person in petty ways that aren't going to ruin your life, but are still kind of dickish.
Yeah, like
I was reading up a little article. I was reading up a little like oral history of him from a few years ago, and it was like stories of actual Prince things he did. It included like going to somebody's house, and they said, "Oh, we don't wear shoes in this house. Can you take off your boots?" And he was like, "I don't take off my boots for anyone." And he walks through and he's trekking mud all over the floor. And the host is like cleaning it all up. And it's like, that's the kind of petty nonsense Prince did on a day-to-day. He did a few worse things occasionally too. But like, I think the bulk of his badness is that level, which is the same as the kid's character. But he just put it all on screen. He's like, yeah, this is me. It's wild. It's wild. And Morris Day, also not a great actor, but what a great villain character.
Right.
What a great character. Absolutely 100%. Odd. So odd. Not appealing. And yet supposed to be more appealing than Prince. And it's like, no, you're joking, right? There's no way anybody would choose Morris Day over Prince. You've got to be kidding me.
So it's like the audience knows, but people in the movie don't know is one of those, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's non-diegetically being good at music or something like that. But yeah, no. And he's just such a skeezy manipulator. He's so ridiculous. He's so buffoonish. Like what Morris Day is doing is what so many like 90s Disney side characters are trying to do.
Oh my God, he's Iago is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's doing a really great job of it.
Like, good call. No, that's that. You nailed that shit. That is, yeah. That is a fucking A, man. That's
and he
perfect.
has a sidekick.
He's Hades and Hercules. You know.
And yes, he has a sidekick. They have that wild little back and forth where they're doing a variation on the Who's on First.
Yes.
Jesus, man.
What's
oh,
the password?
God.
What?
I just, that's the part of the movie where I want to be able to physically like reach the screen and just punch that guy in the face and just like move on, go. It's not working. Just continue.
You know what? It came around again for me. I liked it, I hated it, and then I liked it again. I understand if you disagree, but it did win itself back to me.
It's starting to work for me all of a sudden. That's hilarious. The one of the worst bits of acting, you talk about the bad acting. One of the worst bits of bad acting in the movie is Morris and Apollonia drunk. It is, I swear to God, they were just like, all right, just throw them in the alley, turn the camera on. You guys are drunk, go. And it was just awful. Where it's like, not
as
good.
much as I had a hard time with the Apollonia and Prince actually having the hots for each other, even more so the thought that Apollonia was having a relationship of any kind with Morris Day. Like, it never came through on the film for me. I'm just like, he's so goofy and you're pushing him away with every single statement that you make. Like, am I supposed to believe that this is really the other guy that you left Prince for?
I'm not. And honestly, I wasn't buying it the whole film anyways. I think she was just using him the whole time.
They're all using each other, all of them,
But that's actually the thing is that Morris Day is not actually a romantic threat in any way.
No.
He's so blatantly
business
like,
threat.
Yeah, he's a business threat, but he's not a romantic threat. But Prince's character sees him as a romantic threat.
He is sort of a romantic threat in that I don't think Prince could see himself with Apollonia if she had ever done anything with Morris Day.
For sure.
Even if Morris Day was never going to be a permanent boyfriend type fixture in her life, just the fact that Morris Day might have touched her in some sort of way would make it an impossible relationship.
Exactly. And that's his controlling. That's part of Prince's terrible character that he's supposed to get past.
Well, that's and from what you were talking about his personal life, that tracks with some of his personal life from things I've read where he.
That is my understanding. Yes.
So anyway,
I'm not expert.
And folks, don't meet your heroes. Like, just don't do it.
Don't invite them onto your podcast.
Don't invite them onto your podcast.
Just because you like somebody else's podcast, don't invite them onto yours. They're going to be real assholes. They're not going to like one of your favorite movies. They're going to be thankful they're not part of your family.
Your favorite movie.
God, I love how you fucking twisted the dagger on me on that shit. That's great. So good, Chris. This is so well done. Folks, don't meet your heroes because you don't know who they are, and it's better that you just enjoy your heroes and their art and what they do.
Well, you can separate the art from the artist.
Separate the art from the artist.
Because if you don't
meet him, you don't know much about him. You don't have to.
It reminds me of that movie Tar, where they were having the argument about separating the art from the artist, and that once the person's long gone, all that's left is the notes and the spaces between the notes. And this is the first time I've watched this movie since Prince has been gone, and he's been gone like 10 years. It's hard to believe. But you can't imagine Prince as an old man, right? That almost doesn't make sense either. And so now I'm just like, through all the, now it's time for another favorite episode of our game show, misogyny or the 80s. Which is it? We're going to throw a woman in a dumpster, and is it played for laughs? No, it's just the 80s. But then you go,
it's the 80s.
That's just the movie and the story that he was telling, and all that's left is just the songs now. And so it's, you sometimes, like you said, it's best to not meet certain people. Like we'd never have a chance to have met Prince anyway, but I know what you mean.
Well,
while
I am willing to,
it's weird.
While I'm willing to watch, I cannot think he is a nice person when he drives her 2 hours away to a lake that is not Lake Minnetonka, and then somehow convinces her to jump in, and then he's like, "I'm leaving." But that's part of the problem is that she jumps in. She's now all wet. How do you put leather back on a wet body? You don't.
No, you don't.
That's an impossible scene.
Sure.
And then he's on his motorcycle and he's like, "Sup, bye, babe." And then he starts to drive away, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You are leaving me behind at this place. I just came here from New Orleans. I do not know where I am. And you're leaving me at a lake that is not Lake Minnetonka. I don't even know what this lake is called. And then he's like, haha, jump back on. No, I can't forgive him for that. And yet, when Purple Rain plays at the end of the movie, I am bawling my eyes out.
Yep.
So I can love him while he's playing his music, and I cannot forgive him for being shit to Apollonia. It can happen simultaneously.
100%. Also, I will say, it is aggressively unfair for your movie's plot to be building up to performing Purple Rain. That gives you such an advantage that it should be outlawed. They should not have given an Oscar. That's like substance abuse enhancement. You know, it's like pumping steroids. If you're just going to do that, it's amazing. It's so good. I love Purple Rain. And when Purple Rain plays at the end of the movie, I am so primed for it because we've been hearing little snippets of the instrumental bit a few times. He's been working it out, and you've got even more context for it than you usually do. And then he starts singing it, and it is overwhelming.
It's transcendent.
Yeah, 100%.
My emotions were out of my body.
And
bawling.
The soundtrack is one of my favorite albums of all time.
It's a great
I have heard it a billion times.
Same.
But in the context of the movie, it's all incredibly fresh feeling, even though I've seen the movie a few times. It had been a few decades, but still, it's just the movie does so much for the soundtrack, and the soundtrack does so much for the movie. It's astonishing.
It's really great. Hey, son, how was that movie Purple Rain? Well, Dad, for the first hour and 20 minutes, Prince did nothing but punch babies in the face. But then at the end, he played Purple Rain, and it was amazing. So I recommend it fully. Go see it.
Well, the other performances are good, too.
They're all good. They're all really good.
The movie, I could have watched him on stage for 90 minutes, and I would have,
Yes. In fact, the first 10 minutes of the movie is just him doing a few songs before Apollonia and him are even really formally introduced. And I'm like, oh, maybe this is the whole movie. I'm cool with that.
I mean, it's one song. It's just "Let's Go Crazy," but it is very long, and they play the unedited version of it.
We introduced, because we introduced her during the whole musical breakdown part of that. Yeah.
Also, I'm entranced by the buttons on his pants. Every pair of pants, buttons along the side of his pants, his high heels. Phenomenal. And then buttons diagonal across his crotch, 100% eye candy boggling. I'm like, oh my gosh, that costume choice, absolutely brilliant. And probably not a choice. Like Prince was just like, I'm wearing what I wore to the set today. Is that all right? And it's like, yes, you can wear that. Amazing. No one else can pull off those pants. Not even Julia Roberts in America's Sweethearts, although she tries.
There's a moment towards the end of the movie when he's at his his lowest point, and his band is, being not liked, and the Time are playing their song right before he comes up to do the Purple Rain song. And the Time are playing this song called The Bird. And it's a perfectly fine song, I suppose, but it's meant to be like, oh, this is the hottest band at the club. Like in the plot, that's its purpose. And in it, Morris Day and the other members of the Time are dancing around, and in the chorus of it they do this kind of thing and put their arms way above their heads. It is the stupidest thing. You cut to the club, everybody in the audience is doing it as well. It is so amazing, and I love that Prince wrote this song for Morris Day to look that stupid, to talk about how vapid other pop stars are, but it's also him doing it.
It's so great.
It's such a foil for when
Morris
Purple Rain
sells
starts.
it.
Yes, his whole band sells it. It's pretty great.
It's good stuff.
But nothing is as cutting as Morris Day coming back down and being like, how's the family?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even he stops in the hallway after that burn to kind of be like, I'm sorry, Jesus, please forgive me. Yeah. Even he was like, that was not cool.
No, it was not. But that's all right, because he got his ass handed to him by Prince, so it's going to be fine in the end. But wow, when he said that, I was like, damn. You're a bad person.
Yeah. But then at the very, very end, when they do the last song, Baby, I'm a Star, which is the I have now achieved, I'm the biggest thing in town kind of thing. Sure. Morris is amongst the people who was like, yeah, this is great in the audience. So He can be won over.
Everybody's had an emotional epiphany.
Apparently you can for most of the movie because he's playing Darling Nikki and everybody hates it.
Astonishing.
Yeah, it's like the songs are, he's singing about where he is in life each time. Like he just had the fight with Apollonia. Now we have the Darling Nikki song, the Computer Blue song sung directly to her. It's like they're all, the songs are part of the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys notice that Prince doesn't actually ever talk to Morris Day in the movie? He has no lines to Morris Day in the movie. Morris talks to him a couple times directly. But the kid has absolutely no dialogue directly. He says nothing to Morris Day in that movie.
They had to stop production because those two were fighting.
I believe it.
I mean, Prince doesn't have a lot of lines in general.
No, and that's true in real life. Was not a talkative guy, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. My understanding is that Morris Day was doing a lot of cocaine during the movie on a set that was full of cocaine.
Yes.
Was it misogyny or the 80s? Or cocaine.
Yeah. Cocaine's hell of a drug.
See, I think cocaine can excuse a lot of shit in the 80s that you could point toward.
Explain anyways.
Yeah, cocaine will exacerbate certain traits or characteristics of a person.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I was on a mind-altering substance, and I said things that I wouldn't have said normally otherwise. What is the Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh, that's it. That's it.
It was wasn't it a diet pill or something?
Yes.
It was on a diet pill that made me say
pain medication. I was on pain medication.
Yes.
That makes me say things I would otherwise not say. Also, Hector's penis is very large.
Yes.
Almost too large.
Almost too
large.
large.
On the pain meds. That's what that was. She wouldn't normally say that.
It's bigger than quarters.
Hey, can I tell a little story?
Please.
So in 2005, 21 years ago, I went with some friends. I was living in Portland, Oregon at the time. I went with some friends. We drove up to visit friends in Seattle. We arrived around midnight. Got into my friend's house. A couple of them there, a couple of friends there. And they say, and they've got a VHS copy of Purple Rain that they had just found at a thrift store. And they said to us, hey, do you want to make Purple Rain? And I said, wait, say it again. I said, do you want to make Purple Rain? We just got this VHS. And we thought it would be fun to try to remember Purple Rain. We haven't watched it, but using the blurb on the back and whatever we can remember from having seen the film, let's recreate Purple Rain. We've got a little point and click camera that's at the time was great, but has now left us with very, very tiny films. Let's make it. So we then spent until 3:30 in the morning making our own version of Purple Rain, which I directed and had somebody else as cinematographer put it together, edited it, of course, much later. It was, I called it The Purple Rain, just to distinguish it in IMDb. It is 5 minutes long. It is silent because, we were doing it our way. And most of the roles were gender swapped. I also had a bit part as part of the time playing a trombone that my friend had lying around the house, but doing some fun backup moves with it, swinging back and forth and so forth. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. I was rewatching it just before this. It's very silly, but also, wow, those cameras from that era could not do very much, especially in the low light conditions of trying to film outdoor scenes at midnight.
Did you have the jumping in the lake scene?
We didn't have the jumping in the lake scene. We had the fight with the father. Mm-hmm. They didn't fight so much as stare at each other really intensely for a good while. We had the scene at the club where Apollonia, played by our friend Jake, was going back and forth, or was sort of making googly eyes at our Prince character, who was, you could tell it was Prince because she had like a purple wool hat, purple toucan, mm-hmm. and but then was pulled aside by the person who is now his wife, Joni, who was playing Morris Day, and it was really fantastic. Just lots of fun. I recommend this as an exercise if you haven't seen the movie in a while. Let yourself forget our conversation, but then go. Maybe you could do other movies, but I found it works best with Purple Rain, that you just recreate it from memory in a couple hours, and then it's golden.
That's fantastic.
I can't believe you haven't shared this actual movie with me. I've heard about the movie before, but have never actually seen this 5 minutes of genius.
Oh, I mean, that's a bit much, but I think you would enjoy it because you know all the people involved. I don't think anybody else needs to see it. But I thought I had shown it to you back in the day, but I guess I'll send you the file and you can watch it after we're done.
It's gonna be the best.
I don't mind
ever.
you seeing it.
I mean, I've been making media for 35 years. There's tons of stuff I don't want people to see.
Oh yeah,
Marty owns most of it.
The early
That's
days.
a very dangerous move to make. To have your
Yes.
friend own the things that you don't want seen.
Well, I trust him, and it's how I stay on it. I have to stay on his good side, so you know.
That's beautiful.
Well, wait till they become vintage enough that we can release it, and people be like, "Oh, look at that old shit," you know. If anybody
You know,
wants to
come
watch
back around and be like, "You remember? Yeah, that'd be perfect."
it. 90.
There's something I didn't realize was true about Prince until I saw this movie, because of course this was my first time seeing the movie this week. He's a ventriloquist. What?
Yeah.
What? I had no idea that there was going to be like a 2-minute Prince ventriloquy session where he's talking with his bandmates through a little puppet. And then there's all these puppets, all these doll faces inside of his bedroom. This was a thing I did not expect in any way. I don't know where to go with this fact, but it was just so much to process.
I couldn't figure out whether he was actually doing ventriloquy in those scenes or if it was an overdub.
You could see his lips a little bit moving.
Oh, see, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell his
You
lips
could
were
see
moving.
his lips
Maybe
moving
you
just
could.
a little bit.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's delightful. I love his little puppet character.
Of course you do.
He
Of
should play one of the
course.
bots on MST3K when, I guess we missed that
Oh.
chance.
Well, Minnesota, there is the connection.
Yeah.
No, when Charlotte and I did a little road trip last summer
2 years ago.
24,
Yeah.
now 2 years ago, we stopped in Minnesota to do some MST3K tourism and happened to drive by Paisley Park, and we're like, okay,
What a
we're going to stop here.
Sure.
Pretty cool. Like, didn't even occur to us that might be
No.
an option. And
No.
but, if you see it, you're going to stop.
Yes. Although you're not going to know you're looking at it unless you know you're looking at it, because it's not purple. It's just not purple. It's not shaped like a paisley, but it is.
There's some signage that's purple. There's like the
Yeah.
guitar symbol or the Prince symbol rather.
Did you guys did you ever hear the Kevin Smith story about shooting the documentary for Prince? Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
Yeah, so it's in his first evening with Kevin Smith, but he basically tells I think it takes about an hour to tell this story about getting a call from Prince's handler saying, Prince would like to call you in 30 minutes. Will you be available? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll be available. He's
Yes,
like,
100%. I will be available in 30 minutes.
So he runs to his wife. He's like, fuck, Prince is going to call me in 30 minutes. And she's like, really? He's like, yeah, I don't know. The handler just called me. He's going to call me. What does she want to talk about? I don't know. And so, 20 minutes go by and he gets another phone call. Prince is going to call you in 20 minutes. And he's like, this is fucking genius. Like he's building up, suspense for me. This phone call. So anyways, he finally gets Prince on the phone and Prince asks him to come to Paisley Park and shoot a documentary about this new album that he's filming or that he's releasing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kevin goes down there with a crew and cameras and shit. And he's just filming this documentary. And, Paisley Park is all wired for sound, right? Like if Prince wants to record in the bathroom, he can record in the bathroom and shit. And so Prince is up in the master bedroom, basically watching Kevin work and not coming down and participating. And it's pissing Kevin off because Kevin's having to do the documentary. He's interviewing people about, like they're playing the album for him and then interviewing people about their reactions and all this stuff. And like later on, he finds out that, Prince is already editing the footage while the documentary is being shot and playing it at concerts that he's playing.
Oh my God.
Right. And it's just it's insane. And then, so he gets the documentary finished. Right. And it's one of the handlers that he's working with is like, cause he's asking all the questions. He's Prince obsessed. He's asking all these questions. Where do you get Prince's clothes? We get him at the boys section at Kmart. That's where we get Prince's clothes. We get him at the boys section at Nordstrom's. Right. That's how they dress Prince because he's so small. Yeah. And like one of the things they said is like, you have to understand that Prince lives in Prince world. And sometimes Prince will call you at 3 a.m. and say, it's 3 a.m. in the middle of winter and I need a camel. And you got to go fucking find Prince a camel. That's Prince lives. He doesn't and he said, it's not that Prince is a dick. It's just that Prince doesn't understand why you can't find a camel and get it for him. Like he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand why logistically you can't make that happen. Right. And so it ends up basically they said Kevin goes, well, I got to go and finish my movie and I'll come back and I'll edit it. We'll put together the documentary. Right. We'll put the final touches on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, no need. It's already been edited and it's in the vault. And he goes, it's in the vault. And he's like, yeah, it's in the vault. And he goes, well, when are you guys going to release it? I don't know. Prince probably just leave it in the vault.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And she goes, Kevin, I've made 7 music videos for Prince, and you've never fucking seen them, and you never will. They're in the vault.
Is it out of the vault now? It's been a decade.
That's a good question. I'm wondering about the vault and this stuff that's been edited, and if it'll ever see the light of day now. But if you're interested in Prince and in how he works with people, that's actually a really fascinating tale that Kevin tells, and it's worth the listen because he's a great storyteller anyways, and he's got an eye for detail, so he really goes into detail on it. It's worth the listen.
And you left out the best part. He was going to use that movie as a Jehovah's Witness recruition tool.
That's right.
Of course.
Oh,
because his album was heavy. One of the things was his album was heavy religious, and he's a Jehovah's Witness. And he said, like, at one point he came down and he was like, he was separating people into groups. And he said, like, well, you don't believe in Christ, so therefore we get to take your women. So all your women now over to this side of the room. And
gosh.
It's really, you got to listen to it. It's really wild. It's a wild ass tale. It's a lot of fun.
Dang.
Back to Purple Rain briefly.
Back to Purple Rain. Sorry.
Sure.
Partway through the movie, I got to the first heavy sex sequence with Prince and Apollonia. Shades of the Room.
Spicy.
A little bit. But then you go.
Spicy.
Now I understand why part of the reason this movie is so popular. This is erotic fiction.
I mean,
a little bit.
A few scenes are.
A little bit. I think some people are watching this and are like, I wouldn't mind if me and Prince slapped each other around a little bit. I don't know. Maybe there's, different strokes for different folks out there.
We're not here to yuck anybody's yum.
Exactly. Maybe somebody's watching this and getting a completely different read from it.
You like a little slap and tickle, that's your business.
I think everybody in this movie did.
I don't think this was a consensual slap and tickle, though. In which case, I have a very different feeling about it, right?
About it, but then you go, wait a minute, and then they're putting it in the movie, and I'm like, what is the? Oh, maybe this is for like some people are buying the 50 Shades of Grey books. I don't know why. That's not my thing, but trying to analyze stuff. You
can't have a character redemption without first showing the character needing redemption.
Well, that is true. Which is kind of why I prefer the album. I mean, the movie's fun, but the album, look, music is so infinite with its interpretation and can go forever. And the movie's tying it to certain images and plot lines. And it's still a neat thing to go through. But if I had a choice, I'd listen to the album over watch the movie again. But I still like both of them quite a bit.
I saw this last year at Flick's Brewhouse on Prince's birthday.
Theater.
Oh.
And the theater was packed. It was
as I would expect,
packed. And there were people literally singing along with the songs and dancing in their seats. And of course, now there was alcohol. They serve alcohol at Flick's Brewhouse, so people were, people were feeling no pain. But it was a really fun kind of rollicking, almost without the audience participation element of like Rocky Horror Picture Show, that type of energy. It was a lot of fun, especially for a movie that's that old. And it wasn't people my age solely in the audience. It was a massive mix. So it was great.
Was it intended to be a sing-along? Because they have a whole series of movies now that go around that are sing-along Sound of Music.
No, I wish. I'd take a sing-along print. I'd take a sing-along sing-along Purple Rain any day of the week.
Now a sing-along The Color Purple.
That would also be an interesting movie. Did they make that into a musical yet? It feels like everything from the 80s has been made into a musical.
Marty, we need to pitch that.
Right.
We'll go into pitch.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, it has been made into a musical.
Wow.
Yes, I know.
I cannot believe
Jennifer
what has
Hudson
been made into a musical.
Actually,
yeah.
Chris has already heard my diatribe walking through the streets and seeing like advertisements for a musical of a movie from the 80s or the early 90s. It's just like, could these things do not need to be musicals. Make a new story. Seriously. I'm sorry, Chris. You've heard it before.
I have.
Well,
sorry.
This movie is definitely a marketing miracle. I mean, he writes one of the greatest albums ever, attaches it to a movie that he needed at just the right time in the height of MTV music video, 2 other albums attached to it. I mean, it's an insane zeitgeist that came from that. That's why I say watching the last 20 minutes of the movie is really what it's all about, because you see the 80s crystallize before your eyes. We are no longer in that holdover of the late 70s. We are here now. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. And gave him that, like, it allowed him to become that kind of, when you've done something that big, you don't care anymore. Like it became sort of a problem for him because people wanted more Purple Rain out of him, and it took a few years for him to do stuff that really wasn't Purple Rain for them to stop
New Generation instead of Revolution.
Yeah, things like that. So, but yeah, after that, he was fine. He was financially fine. He could do whatever he wanted, no matter how many camels he had to kiss at the middle of the night in the winter.
The only other movie I can think of that reminds me of this at all is Pink Floyd The Wall. As far as like a movie that's music through the whole thing, I don't think there's dialogue in it, but it's more
I was
about
thinking Tommy the Who.
Well, that also, I guess,
maybe kind of Quadrophenia or something like that.
That one may be a little more. I attached to the Pink Floyd because it was, the musician going crazy, that type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's all very 80s.
Man Who Fell to Earth, maybe. Bowie.
Yeah, I still think A Hard Day's Night. Like, this is
that's a decent call too.
Yeah. It is creating a legend about yourself, and that is also sort of, obviously they were big beforehand, and Prince had a few hits before Purple Rain, but like that really cemented them as a cultural force to be reckoned with.
Like
and is also a very good movie.
Like you were talking about, I Would Die for You, and it made me say, "Don't you go writing no song about that, Dewey Cox." Because I don't know if you've seen Walk Hard, but you'll hear a line and they'll say, "Don't you write a song?" And he writes the song with that line. It becomes the next huge hit. Like I would.
It's been on my to watch list for ages.
All right, that's a decent one. Maybe you guys come back. We'll do that Dewey Cox and something else. Or something.
I do enjoy the John C. Reilly.
The idea that I'll be coming back someday potentially to do that means I don't have to watch it until then.
There you go.
And I love excuses for not watching movies on my to watch list.
We're happy to help you in whatever way we can, sir.
Right. The to watch and the to read and the to do list, always longer. Always longer than it could possibly
exist to get longer, not to be checked off.
Exactly.
That's my to edit list.
There's that too.
Yeah.
And my other note here is musicians and wrestlers always beating the shit out of each other. Why is that? We've watched several other movies about wrestlers and musicians, and they're just always going at it. They're just a fiery bunch. But so are actors and athletes and everybody in show business, right? There's just something about that. You get so, I'm old. I don't have any anger left in me outside of a little get off my lawn. But, younger, it would be like, Arr! And so I can imagine the passion getting to you, It is.
I feel like it's an easy tension to put into a movie and a relationship type of thing, so that you don't really have to think about how do I make a plot for musicians. Oh yeah, we'll make them rivals. How do I make a plot for a wrestler? Oh yeah, I will make them rivals because
how do I make a plot for hockey players? We'll make them rivals and we'll heat them up.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Back to Youngblood again.
Well, yeah, the Youngblood remake. Our Youngblood episode was fantastic.
We cover Youngblood. 6 months later, there's a remake. Are you listening to our algorithm? What's going on?
Kismet.
Nobody was talking about that movie.
Go.
So there's 2 follow-ups to Purple Rain. There's Graffiti Bridge, which I never saw, which has Morrissey in it again, right?
And then Under the Cherry Moon.
And then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Jay and Silent Bob dance with Morrissey in the Time singing Jungle Love at the end of the movie. Is it the same universe? I don't know. But they say they modeled their entire life after Morrissey in the Time, and maybe with the dancing part, but I don't really see anything else that reminded me too much of Jay and Silent Bob.
Maybe
and
always being number 2.
Yeah.
Having a hetero life mate,
Oh, okay.
He was also in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which I haven't seen.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Morrissey.
Who was?
Morrissey has been in a few things.
He plays the record producer in Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Sorry, that's the Andrew Dice Clay movie?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I have seen that, and I do not remember Morrissey in it. But
you hadn't seen Purple Rain
That is
yet,
so true, but I've seen all the music videos.
It sounds like we have our next episode, honestly. Adventures of Ford Fairlane and Dewey Cox. Whew.
Oh, no. Gotta mix that up a little bit.
No.
Like pay people to do that one.
Oh my God. Okay. Purple Rain. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I'm going to take a half a star off for the mini Tonka jump and the punching of the faces, but the rest of it's pretty perfect. And it's kind of undeniable. The talent of it and the genius of it's right there. So 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. Just talking with you all made me appreciate it even more and more and more. And I've been thinking about it all week, and it's just like the more I think about it, the more the musical performances are really where it's at. It's just, I mean, you can just show somebody those parts, and there you go. Of course, you're missing the whole story element, but yeah, it's undeniable. That part of it.
The story element's just there so you can get the musical pieces anyways.
I mean, you would have thought Michael Jackson would have been the one to make a full-length movie. He got Thriller, which you got about a half hour.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make a whole movie, or I'm not doing anything else, according to Wiki. So
Captain EO, if you didn't see that, if you saw that in Disneyland, that shit was spectacular. I don't know if you saw Captain EO. It was
100%.
Awesome. Fucking awesome.
Best use of Angelica Houston, except for the Addams Family.
It was great. Really great. Chris, what do you think?
I upped my Letterboxd rating from 4 to 4.5 this time around. Okay. And specifically what really pushed it up, in addition to just generally loving it, was I really like how much they were able to do with such bad actors. Like Apollonia is the only one where I felt this is really bad. Everybody else, like, it was bad and it was perfect. Like, it was exactly, it was very much the we're going to get together. I know that, like, Prince had everybody, including himself, take months of acting lessons and dance lessons beforehand. But, like, I mean, shout out to Wendy, who does a great job in this for a very small role, but, like, nails it at the very end when they're playing Purple Rain at one point. He goes over and gives her a little kiss, and she manages in one quick thing in the background to look both disgusted by being kissed and totally appreciating everything. Like, she's just overwrought. It's such a weird and great expression.
You can tell there's a great moment of them fixing that thing. Which I really like. Yeah.
Well, and her just being tapped into all of the emotional experience of that whole thing, like his dad being able to play this song, having her song be played and be appreciative, getting the credit for it in front of the audience, which he never did for anything else before. Like, there is so much in that expression, and you're entirely right, Chris. Like, she absolutely nailed it.
And
my tears.
And I love non-traditional actors or bad actors being put to good use. Like, that is such a good thing for me. So 4.5 stars.
Nice. I think I'm going to go 4. I like it. I like it so much. I can't get behind Prince's character. It's really, it takes me out of the enjoyment of some of the musical stuff. And it just makes the story a little dislocated for me, but I like, the music is so overpoweringly wonderful, and it is emotionally moving.
I mean,
the buttons on the pants. You think I'm not taking that into account with that?
Okay, I'm just making sure. Just making sure. Okay, just making sure.
The ruffles? I mean, everything about this movie is so iconic.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it was like to watch it in 1984.
It was amazing.
And not already have the icon in front of you, right? Like, I've already heard the soundtrack a million times. I've already gotten a speeding ticket while playing the soundtrack on the roads of Nevada, right? Like, this movie, or not the movie, but the soundtrack is already such a huge part of my life, and the presence of Prince is already a huge part of my life. I can't imagine seeing this movie without that background and just having that full force impact all at once.
Like, we knew 1999 and Little Red Corvette.
Yeah.
He felt like another pop star. And then this shows up, and I'm riding my bike around the neighborhood listening to When Doves Cry on the radio. It's a different world now.
Yeah. Totally.
It changed the world.
Totally. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on.
Oh,
thank you for having us.
I have one last note about the other movie I forgot.
Okay.
Before we go into your plugs.
America's Sweetheart.
America's Sweethearts had some of the most awkward kissing I've seen in a movie. Like, they were wrapping their heads around each other's faces.
I'm sorry. You said that about America's Sweethearts, and then you watch Purple Rain and
didn't have the
same thought.
I was going to say, watching Apollonia and Prince kiss is not a pleasant thing.
They matched each other. It was a good pairing. But anyway, it was awesome to have you guys on. What do you want to plug?
Plug away.
We have a podcast. It's nominally a podcast about Mystery Science Theater 3000. But here's the thing. If you're a big fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and you come to our show thinking that it's going to be one of those fan casts where we just love everything all the time. That's not what we do. What we do is we talk about all of the movies and the riffs that they make and the way that it expands open. Mystery Science Theater and its jokes expanded things into the whole world of references. And we use that as a motivation to explore the world and learn a little thing about something and make ourselves watch. I watched so many movies for this episode we're going to record in a few days that I've never watched and meant to watch. And you know, things like that. So we talk about all sorts of stuff. Ideally, even people who don't watch MST3K would enjoy our podcast, but that is kind of an ask, I understand. So come and it's just a show.com. Come and check it out.
Nice. I will say, I enjoy the show quite a bit. Marty's a heavier listener than I am. I just don't have the time for a bunch of podcasts, but when I do catch an episode, it's always a great one. I always
understood.
Yeah.
I don't have time to listen to our podcast. We put out almost 200 episodes of that.
I barely have time to listen to my own podcast, much less. I mean, I think I've got you, and then I think I've got the Reels people and Izzy's, and that's about it. And that's all about all I can handle. And even then, it's the rotations rough.
Yeah, I'm at work with headphones, so I need stuff. So it's like, give me shows. And it's like, you guys help me get through so many car rides and so many days of processing stuff. So it's
nice. I'd get through a lot more podcasts if I could listen to podcasts while I was editing my podcast. But it doesn't work. I've had that feeling. I've wanted to do that so many times and been like, I can't though.
It is entirely the case. I listen to podcasts while I am driving. So that is where I get most of my listens in. And it's like, I made it home so fast. No, I didn't. I just listened to a really enjoyable podcast. So I appreciate you guys' podcast as well. It's been fun listening. The one I just listened to was about the commitments. And it was like, I remember that movie so fondly. How nice to listen to people talk about it again.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
Absolutely of all time. I think I probably said that 9 or 10 times during the episode.
I hardly noticed.
I was listening to it and really enjoying the conversation you guys had a while back about the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which I had finally watched recently and really enjoyed, and features one of my favorite things about movies from the 70s, that especially if they're sort of East Coast based, which was the Doris Roberts jump scare, where suddenly the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond is in your movie, is doing a bit part. She's also in Rabbit Test, that terrible Billy Crystal movie that Joan Roberts did.
Oh, okay.
All sorts of Doris. It's always exciting.
That's great.
It's always great when that happens. She's wonderful.
I love Walter Matthau. He's one of my favorite actors. I think the older I get, the more I appreciate him. And so doing Pelham and Hopscotch was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably get out of here. Otherwise, we sit here and talk even more about movies. I think I get the feeling that we could probably.
That's not what your listeners come here for.
A lot of time. Yeah. No. You guys want to get out of here on a quote? I got one. I'll do mine first. Give you guys some time.
Okay.
I was in a store the other day. You know that great store in Melrose, and there was a baby in a stroller, and he was looking at me. And he was judging me.
Here's mine. I love you so much. I want to marry you, and I want to make something with both of our skins.
People don't kill people at a Hyatt. Other chains, yes, but the Hyatt, no.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain.
Perfect. We're out of here. Thank you so much, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and keep listening to the show on the app of your choice. Do it now.